Hi there, this is Justin from Lemplates, and today we'll be talking about whether Tallyfy is relevant in 2026 or is worth it in 2026. So, we will be going around to a few different contexts based on the data that's already here. So, let's go ahead and click Tallyfy, and I'll quickly log in, and you'll be able to see the dashboard. Okay, as you can see, this is the dashboard, and since you're already here, you know that this tool exists and it's a workflow and SOP tool. So what you're really deciding now is whether or not it fits your team, your pace, and your everyday workflows within your business. So Tallyfly is for small businesses, small teams that want structured execution. So it's not just about documenting steps or just having steps for the sake of it. And it's about defining how work should move every single time. So in this case, it's sort of a process within a company that should be followed or has to be followed or can be followed depending on how your team is. So teams that benefit with the usage of this tool usually have repeatable processes. They know what needs to happen. They know that it has to happen consistently and have to make sure that it does happen consistently. So for these teams, structure is not a limitation but a relief. So it doesn't really change that much unless of course the team is growing, unless of course there is a structural process that's updated and needs to be changed. That's when you can make additions or edits to the workflows themselves. So Tallyfy works well with teams who are comfortable making decisions up front and they are willing to define the order of steps, who own each steps, and how work flows from start to finish. So as you can see here, nope, the templates on the previous videos that we had, you can go and have a look at it and it will show you exactly how we got to the 7 steps or 6 steps depending on the number of steps you have. You can also add a step here, type in step, then let's say celebrate. There you go. Then you can add your step. It will be your step number 8, as you can see. So that's how it is. As you can see here, you can assign who does what, which is how people get to be accountable or how people know who is doing what within this workflow. The level of clarity is not optional, it's foundational since it's already set in stone from the very beginning. So if your team is aligned around this and having a tool that supports it, it's not friction. And if it doesn't show up earlier on, then the tool will work well throughout the entire phase. So Tallyfly is also for teams that accept operational responsibility. Using it properly means setting workflows carefully, maintaining them over time, and treating them like living systems. So with this case, you use the same workflow, the same system over and over again without having it to change that much. So for teams that see processes ownership as part of their role, this feels natural. For teams that don't, it feels heavy, like running away from responsibilities. So people who prefer lighter tools, some teams don't want to lock things down yet. They are still evolving, they're still testing workflows. So with this, uh, Pro Tallyfly is not really a good tool for them since they always want to change processes. But this case, maybe you can go with maybe adding steps or moving steps around, just like that. So that's how teams who need changes constantly always go about. But then it's a good thing since you can always change the process on Tallyfly. The problem is with workers who find it hard to keep up or might find it hard to keep up with the whole process in itself. So they want room to adapt, they want minimal setup, and they want tools that stay out of the way. So with teams that prefer lighter setups, they don't need to restart the whole process over and over again. They just prefer something simple, straightforward, without many interruptions. And that's where the disappointment comes from. So it's not because this tool fails, but because the expectations don't match reality. That's where the mismatch is. So when it comes to the validity or whether this tool is worth it in 2026, it is if your team is ready to commit to structured workflows, clear ownership, and ongoing maintenance, and also accountability. So, if your team is not really into that, or your team is forever changing and evolving, this tool will become a burden for them. So, if your team prefers lightweight execution, minimal setup, and flexible processes, then this tool really doesn't fit that criteria. So, if you prefer using different tools, such as Lemplates, you can always have a look at it.com. You can always have a look at it and see if it helps or supports your SOPs and workflows. So as you can see here, I'll just briefly go through it. You have your templates, you have a marketplace for the templates that you might need. So here you can just choose any templates that you can need. Let's just go with WordPress content, and then you just use templates and it will be under my templates. So with that being said, there we go. You can edit it at any given time and remove steps that don't need to be there and add steps that need to be there, and you can add more fields as well. Same thing with Tallyfy. When you edit it, here you go, step one. You can do the same thing, your automation, your fields. You can add your fields, new fields. You can add whatever you need to add there. So this is how this tools basically works. And under the teams, or you can use integrations integrated with other apps that you're using within the company, like your Slack and your email, your Google, and other Microsoft Teams, Discord, etc. So you can have it work with any of those tools. And here you can share, let's say that it's a marketing thing. So you can go to templates and share the templates that you're working on. So with this one, WordPress, there we go. You can just share the template with your team members, and voila, there is a template. The team members, you can invite team members through their company email and so on. So this is how it basically is, and everyone gets to have access and everyone knows what to do. And yeah, that's just the gist of it. So we'll not waste too much time on that. So as you've heard, like, this tool is relevant to people who find it easier to use, people who find structured or consistent workflows better. As you can see here, you can also state the time limit that it takes. You can also change that probably to 4 days or 2 days or even a day, because it's easy. It's an easy step to complete. So that's one of the other functions that you can have a look at. So if you need any more details on this tool, you can always catch the links in the description below and have a look at it, have a feel for it, play around with it, introduce it to your teammates, and see how they feel about the tools and how they like the functions that they have. So that's it from me, and I'll catch you on the next video. Thank you.